Welcome to Great Talking Entertainment. I'm your host, KJ, and this is the YouTube channel where I review movies and TV shows from all your favorite superheroes, including Marvel Comics, DC Comics, and much more. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment official channel. Now let's go, baby. Welcome back to the YouTube channel, everyone. My name is KJ, and today's spoiler review video is the new film, which is in theaters right now, by Illumination and Nintendo, the Super Mario Galaxy movie. This is my spoiler review. If you have not seen this, please pause this. But before you go and watch this amazing film, hit the thumbs up button, aka the like button. That would help my YouTube channel out. Come back and let me know in the comments below what you think about the new movie, The Super Mario Galaxy, which is in theaters right now. So, again, this is a spoiler review. Now, y'all have been warned. Now, let's get into it. This film starts off with an amazing visual, and then, of course, this whole movie visually looks good, but this is a visual of the galaxy of the Nintendo Cinematic Universe as we get introduced to Princess Rosalina and the Luna Stars. And the way they set this up is similar to the Super Mario Galaxy video game, the first one, where these Luna Stars are like kids to her, and they have the music in the background that is from the Super Mario Galaxy games. I believe just 1 and 2, but it starts similar to how the first one starts, where Rosalina is going to read them a bedtime story. And when this one, they start out as the Luna Star kids. They're like, we want to hear about Mario and Luigi, but they call them the plumbers, because she was going to start telling them the story about Princess Peach, which we later find out what that story is. And we seen them referencing Donkey Kong and Mario fighting each other. And like in the movie too, they wear, one of the Luna Stars wears a Mario hat, and I think the other one wears a Luigi hat, but one of them does wear the Donkey Kong tie. And also one of the tiny Luna Stars has a baby, like what do you call those things that babies use? Which is a pacifier. And it's the same pacifier, I believe, baby Princess Peach has, and I think they showed the same one in the flashback. So there's a lot of Nintendo reference to the video games in this scene too. And what I like about it is the Luna Stars. They're just like little kids. Like the one that's the green Luna Star was my favorite, obviously because green's my favorite color. But the Luna Star that's green had his face dirty, and she's like, I thought you said you took a bath and you cleaned yourself. And he's like, oh, I did. And then he cleans himself. It's just funny. And she's getting ready to tell the story before bedtime, but this is where the action starts kicking off, and this is all gas and no brakes. Yada I mean. And as baby Bowser Jr. arrives, who's voiced acted by Benny Safdie, who honestly did an amazing job, and I love that Jack Black and Benny Safdie had a good chemistry together, and they really nailed the father and son duo between Bowser and Bowser Jr., or as I like to call him, Baby Bowser Jr. They really got, I would rate those two together as a 5-star. And so Princess Rosalina tells all the Luna Stars, hey, stay in here. I'm going to handle this. And Baby Bowser Jr. is in his giant robotic machine that looks like, I believe that machine, that robot squid or octopus looking thing, is from the Super Mario World 3D Land. I believe that's where it comes from. Not sure. But and they have a huge battle, and Princess Rosalina, who's voice acted by Brie Larson, who did an amazing job too. You see in action, you see her use her iconic wand, the shooting stars that blasts you up from the galaxy, and it was just really awesome to see that. But she gets captured because one of the Luna Stars comes out and looks, and just like just like any little kid, they don't listen, and they get captured. But Princess Rosalina makes a sacrifice so that Luna Star can escape, as the Luna Star did to get Princess Peach. But Rosalina sacrificed herself to get captured into this giant capsule that's gonna power this planet Bowser and just giant cannon that's going to destroy the whole entire universe. And just really funny stuff. And then the next scene is we see Mario and Luigi riding these dirt bikes from that resembles the dirt bikes that you could play in the Mario Kart games. Not the NES and not the Nintendo 64, but probably like Double Dash and the Wii games, the Wii U Mario Kart, and of course then the DS and the Nintendo Switch. That's where those dirt bikes kind of resemble the most from. But they're in this desert island that's kind of resemble, that not kind of, but does resemble the Mario Odyssey game, as we get to see these pyramids upside down. And they're by and I hope I said his name, but Toastarinas. And they're just like little skeletons. And they wear sombrero hats and cloaks and stuff. And they need Mario and Luigi to unclog this green pipe, where we get introduced to Yoshi. And what I liked about this scene, my favorite thing about this whole scene was watching Mario and Luigi use the fire flower power up, and they had the suits, which is just their same outfit, but it's all white. It's like white, not all white. Yeah, kind of all white. You know, the caps and the shirt or the long sleeves are white, and you know, just everything about that was just so cool. They nailed it. It felt like it. And I love that the fact too, when they're searching for this green pipe that's clogged up with obviously Yoshi and some broken stones or whatever, you hear like the dun 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 sound in there, and it reminds me of like the Super Mario Bros. Games from like the NES and like the 3D versions of them. So I really honestly enjoyed that, and I thought that was super cool. It just brought back old memories of growing up playing those games, which I honestly still play those games today on my Nintendo Switch and stuff. I don't have the Switch 2 yet, but I will. And then we get introduced to Yoshi, and it's voiced by Danny Glover, which I thought that was really awesome, and it's honestly fantastic. And in that scene, Yoshi's explaining how he ended up to the sand desert, and it's so funny because they're showing it without Yoshi actually talking, but we see him in like Nintendo's version of New York in the Mario world, and he becomes like a criminal in a way because he does like petty theft, and he's causing trouble, and then he broke a giant skeleton dinosaur, which is referencing to the dinosaur we see from Mario Odyssey that appears in this movie too. But everybody gets mad and they're trying to chase him down. I think the police were too. And he runs down and goes back in the pipe. But they never explain, like, did those people like blow it up or look for it? But you know what I thought too? It made me think of Godzilla movies. With like Godzilla and King Kong movies. That the recent ones they have, like in those movies, they prefer King Kong in the Hollow World, and they prefer Godzilla far away from King Kong and stuff. And for this, it's kind of reverse. Like, Yoshi's not Godzilla in any shape or form, but they prefer Yoshi in the world where there's the Mushroom Kingdom. You know, there's the Galaxy Station, just anywhere in the Nintendo world and far away from their version of the real world. So it's just kind of funny, like, like, yeah, just stay away, Yoshi, type thing. But and it's also funny too that Luigi and Mario do not understand him. They're like, well, I guess we'll never know, but they tried. And then they all of a sudden just become good friends with Yoshi, like best friends. And then we get a scene where I thought it was just funny. They're changing their outfits, which is just them wearing the exact same outfit that they been wearing, the classic Mario and Luigi outfit. And it's Princess Peach's birthday, and we learn that's not her actual birthday. It's just the day the Toads found baby Princess Peach. And I like the scene where Luigi was singing like an Italian song, in which it's a romance song. I don't know exactly what the name of it is, but it was just funny. And you see Yoshi and Luigi just teasing Mario for having a crush on Peach, because he's like, "You think Princess Peach is gonna like this gift?" And they're doing the kisses thing, and just teasing them, like just what friends and siblings do to each other. I thought it was just funny. And so, everybody in the Mushroom Kingdom is having a fun time, and Toad don't trust Yoshi yet, and they never explain if they become good friends. But as of now, Captain Toad and Yoshi just they don't see eye to eye, and they're keeping distance. But Yoshi don't care because he's like eating people's candy, their snacks. It's like carnival snacks, and it's just funny. But then, too, at the same time, everybody's just having fun. Princess Peach and Mario are having a moment together where, they both like each other, like each other. And in this movie, they never made it official yet. So, obviously, Nintendo and Illumination are going to keep milking that of them becoming official boyfriend and girlfriend type stuff, which is cool with me. It is important, but is it important to make them official now? I would say no, not really, but I think in the third Mario film, if they do one, which I'm pretty sure they will, I think that probably will be the official time where they become boyfriend and girlfriend in the sense of it. Because I love that through the awkwardness, they don't know how to be around each other. They get nervous around each other. So I like that. So also in that scene, as everybody's just having fun, then the action begins. And again, throughout this movie, it was fast paced. When I say all gas, no brakes, I mean it. Like, there was nonstop. To me, that scene was like a slow pace of just them at the carnival festival of Princess Peach's birthday, and them just talking, because as soon as that Luna Star came and they went out to look for it, the Luna Star told what happened, what Bowser Jr. did, and Princess Peach and Captain Toad snuck out and went to figure this out and left Mario in charge. And of course, all the Toads are freaking out. My favorite scene was there's like a Toad just smacking another Toad, and Mario and Luigi's like, "Calm down, everybody." And then the Toad just smacked the other Toad again. I thought that was just funny. And this is where we also see Bowser, as he's still tiny, because in the last movie they made him eat a blue mushroom that makes you really, really small. And he's still trapped in this castle, but he's tricking everybody that he's changed and he's a good guy, and that's why we should let him go. And he's living in this small castle. And again, he's pretending to change, and obviously he tricks them and stuff, and he does go back to being the evil villain, because as soon as everything starts, baby Bowser Jr. shows up, and he's here for his daddy Bowser. And there's a huge fight and a huge action packed as Bowser Jr.'s ship is grabbing the giant Princess Peach castle, lifted all the way up to mid-air, I believe to outer space, honestly. And luckily all the Toads got out. before they even made it. And they made it. None of them drowned. They got to safe. That was important. But Yoshi, Luigi, and Mario are just laying the smack down on Baby Bowser Jr. And as soon as everything goes up, Bowser Jr. hits the button and releases the castle. And all the castle's fallen, and Yoshi, Mario, Bowser, and the other Toads survive again. And now they're on this planet, which is the planet where the Queen Bees, the bee planets from the Mario Galaxy, and they have to find a way to get Peach. And my favorite part in that scene was Bowser was going to escape, and he was like, I'm out like the wind, and Mario caught him, because even though he's tiny, he can't really run really fast. But eventually, Mario trusts him, but Bowser convinced him to like hit him, because in the Mario games, when you use a power-up mushroom, whether to fly, to shrink, have ice power, fire power, swim, look like a frog, because if you remember, like, before Baby Bowser Jr. showed up, right, I liked the part where it looked like the map of a Mario Bros. Game, like Mario Wonderland or Super Mario NES. It's like you just move Mario, Luigi, and you go to this point, and then like there's that flag and stuff where it's either M for Mario or L for Luigi or whatever. And like, Luigi put on the frog costume because one of the Toads were eaten by a giant fish, and he's that toad thing, right? And so we see that, and then of course, like, there's Goombas and Koopas and the Hammer Bros just causing problems in the Mushroom Kingdom world, right? And so then what happens is, no matter what, when the bad guy or the villain, evil creatures attack you and they hit you or just touch you or whatever on the game, you lose it. So you just lose that power up. And that's all Bowser needed to do. And of course, he convinced Mario to throw him down, and he stomped on him. And then Bowser became giant again, and he kept tricking him like, oh, we're friends. And then the queen bee of this, which is from the Mario Galaxy movie, she was like, well, you guys ain't supposed to be here. You guys intrude. Somebody's going to have to punish. And Bowser stayed, and, he was working the beehive, But then Bowser Jr. finds him there and gets him out, and that's where Bowser becomes the villain and stuff, because Baby Bowser Jr. is he looks up to his dad so much. Like, he was showing all this success, and his dad's just proud of him. And apparently he got kicked out of boarding school, so whew. I wonder who was in that boarding school, right? I wonder if like Diddy Kong or Dixie or, I don't know, like K. Rool, maybe he was there. I don't know. But he got kicked out, but he was showing like, I did this, did that. I have all these weapons. And a lot of these weapons are from the Super Smash Bros. So they're teasing the Super Smash Brothers movie, which I'm hoping. And he explains the plan, and they show the backstory of like when Bowser Jr. was a baby. He'd read him this bedtime about his dad made up a bedtime story and had little talking puppets, and it was just cute. And so he really looks up, and then, Bowser was kind of conflicted, which I thought that was neat. Like, he was like, well, Mario and Luigi did me a huge favor. I really can't have them, you can't really murder them. But he was like, but, son, I'm so proud of you. And you created this planet. Like, how could I be mad at you, son? Right? Because that's where we get to Princess Peach when she's at the Galaxy Station. Right? Like, in that scene, we meet King Wart, and he knew where Princess Rosaline, he knew the plan, right? And that was really cool because it had that casino, and I forget which game. I believe it's one of the Super Mario Brothers 3D games from the Wii U, I believe, or maybe 3D Land where you wear the cat suit. I'm not really sure, but I remember that, and it was just a casino, and we see Birdo and some other familiar characters from the old Mario games. And I really like too is Princess Peach is using her umbrella, the gift that Mario gave her, and she threw a beet, BEAT. Oh no, not a beet, a turnip. I apologize, a turnip, and beat the frog, and Captain Toad used one of I believe a penguin suit, and so he was sliding, gliding, because this is where like an underground casino at the Galaxy Station and stuff. Now that monkey or yeah, I think it was a little monkey or like a chimpanzee. He's the reason why they even went there because he stole Toad's backpack, which had a lot of coins in there. The one thing I was only disappointed about that was with that monkey is if you ever played the Yoshi Island game and Yoshi's Story too, I believe, that monkey would usually eat a watermelon, and they would spit out the seeds and it would shoot at you like a bullet, like and I was hoping to see that, but they didn't do that. But to seeing King Wart in there, that was really cool. And what a snitch. He squealed. He snitched. He's a bad. He's not a real good king. Which that indicates to me like K. Rool might be the toughest Nintendo villain in the cinematic universe. In theory. Just in theory. I just want to put that out there. And so I also like the Galaxy Station because you see Rob, and this is like Rob is just a robot that you would use in the old NES. He was like a game controller of some sort, and I don't think it was very successful like Virtual Boy. He was successful at that time. And I don't know much about it, but I remember Rob just from the Super Smash Bros. Games. So that's the only thing I recognized him. But I liked how he was just a simple robot. They're annoyed because if you interrupt him, he mess up. But he's like, oh yeah, you just need to go this. And he finally get to it. And they use like old 2D video game backgrounds as the screen, as the maps, so everybody knows to go where the space station, like to get on a ship and ride off. And we get introduced to other Nintendo characters. We get introduced to the Pikmin and Fox McCloud, aka Star Fox, and that was really cool. Colin Powell plays Star Fox, and it was really cool. They kind of changed him up, which I'm not surprised because honestly, the last Star Fox game was on the Nintendo GameCube, if I'm correct. Because I haven't yet seen I don't think they have a Star Fox game on the Nintendo Wii U game console or the Nintendo Switch game console. I mean, if you got the Nintendo 64 subscription or the Nintendo subscription, you can play like the N64 games and other ones. You can play the old Star Fox games, but I don't think they ever made a new Star Fox game. Now, he's in the Super Smash Bros. Game that's out for the Nintendo Switch, but a solo game, they haven't made one yet. So the point I'm bringing that up is I'm not surprised they changed up his personality a little bit. He's not like the way I remember from Star Fox 64 or Star Fox game on the Nintendo GameCube and stuff. So I'm not surprised, but I like it. I like this version. I'm okay with it. I don't think it's bad. And this is obviously appealing to a newer generation of Nintendo fans, a younger base, right? So this is really honestly not for people around my generation or my current age and stuff because of that. And that's fine because, again, if this is a way to promote maybe a future Star Fox game for the Nintendo Switch 2 or whatever, that's fine because, again, this is for a new generation of younger people, like kids basically. And the way they're going with him is fine. Like he's kind of like they're kind of go with the Star-Lord from Marvel Comic. And what I mean by that is that they're portraying Star Fox now, who's somebody who's not arrogant, but kind of reckless. He's doing it for because he was like, oh, what's in it for me if I take you to your destination, right, and help you? Because he plays a full-time lead in this film, not like the leader of the group, but he becomes part of the whole movie. And Toad whips out the book bag and shows the coins, right? And so he's doing it for the money. So it's kind of like that Guardian of the Galaxy field. Like they don't follow the rules, they break the rules type thing. And so that's the way they're portraying. And when I first played Star Fox on the Nintendo 64, that version of Star Fox, the personality, he would have done it just to be a hero, right? So that's the difference. But there's gonna be younger kids who's not gonna remember that because the Nintendo 64 was like a long time ago. You know, that's not their generation of a game console. You know what I'm saying? So and I'm okay with that. And I like this way. It makes totally sense. I would go that route if I was producing this film. And it makes sense to me. And again, it's a video game character, guys. They're video game characters. Let them be whatever they need to be. And so I like that. And I like the fact that they kept the ship. That for most older Nintendo fans will recognize this. And I'm sure they kind of upgraded it a little bit. Like, it was a single pilot airplane or a wing, right? They didn't have like the extra seats where it's an extra like side where there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like eight seats, right? Something like that. But so it's a little different, but again, not for my generation. This is for the current generation of Nintendo fans. So there's a slight difference to it, and I'm going to say it again, like, I have no issue with that. That's fine, because it still resembles what Star Fox is, but a new version of him, an upgraded version of it. So it's really balanced out. They really balance it out for every generation of Nintendo fans of whatever year, whatever era. So that's fine. So they're going on this ship, and then they run into Bowser Jr., because that's where Princess Rosaline is at, and we see this battle. And, of course, like, this is where Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, and Peach and Toad meet up, too. And this is where Bowser Jr., on the request of Bowser, don't murder them. He uses this blaster, which they changed the blaster, which is fine. It's fine. That blaster that baby Bowser used, or Bowser Jr., I should say, is from the Super Smash Bros. Games. And they never turn the person you're fighting into a baby. It just blasted them. But this one turns them into the baby, and they crash land on this dinosaur planet, which we get introduced to the T-Rex. And I know, in a way, it's not technically Jurassic Park, even though Universal Studios owns the movie rights and the properties of Jurassic Park, but the T Rex used the same voice, the same growl or roar that you would hear in the Jurassic Park movies. So, in a way, it's like Mario and Jurassic Park crossover in this one scene. And it felt like it too, right? It's a female, and the way they escaped that T Rex was the baby Luigi and baby Mario finally blasted by accident the T Rex, and this T Rex wore a diaper, which I thought was funny. And then they figure out if you hit the reverse button, they go back, and I love the fact that Luigi was still crying as an adult, so that was funny. But they finally got the plane. They got help because the Star Fox's jet plane crashed, and they couldn't fix the wing of it. But Luigi uses the radio, and the other Luna stars heard it, and they brought this ship that Star Fox flies and stuff. And what I liked about that scene too is we're seeing Mario and Peach kind of, Mario. He's gonna if this was like boyfriend mode or she was like, "Don't, princess, don't get stressed," and he's like, "Oh, well, can I stress with you?" And they start stomping and kicking rocks and stuff because it's frustrating. It's stuff. So I thought that was really cool, and I just thought too, like Yoshi and the other characters, including Star Fox, they all played an important role in that scene too. Like, and it made sense. Like, it just made sense. And the next scene was everybody finds where everybody's at, which is the Bowser's planet. And in this planet, it's like lava. It's just dark, grimy lava. All the Koopas and Goombas are there. And they even did like a scene where it felt like a Mario Galaxy scene where you got to run on these little, like asteroids or comets. And they're just stomping on Goombas and stuff. But it was just funny. Like, one thing I appreciate this too, in this whole movie, you saw Goombas, and they were all dangerous. There was giant Goombas, tiny Goombas, regular sized Goombas, and they all disappeared and coins just pop out. That was just so cool to see that. And they get there, and this is where Bowser's like, "Okay, son, I'm the villain now. I'm the king." He gave the rah 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 speech, and he went and fought Luigi and Mario and Peach, and yeah, it went on. But one thing I like too, there's a scene right before they even got to that fight. They knew they entered, and they're trying to sneak around, and they get to this one place, and Bowser Jr. They do this one level where if you play the old NES game, and the way they watched them Mario and Peach on camera was in 2D graphics, which I thought that was really cool. But it's the same. It reminded me of the Super Mario Brothers levels where you got all these blocks, and there's like these fireballs that are just chained up together, and they start moving, and they're dodging, chucking, and chiving. And Princess Peach and Mario, they're G's about it. Like when all those walking bombs, baboombas, they jumped up in midair, and they're floating with the umbrella, and all the bombs blow up in the lava, but the explosion impact, added more air underneath Princess Peach's umbrella and brings them up, and they escape. And then you hear that dun 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 after you like get on the flagpole. But it's just funny, like it was them controlling it. It was them controlling like the obstacle course and the those giant stones with the face and stuff. Like, it was just funny. I love that. It reminded me. It just brought back old memories of playing the Mario games, basically. And then we get to that scene where they fight Bowser and they chop the bridge down, and Bowser falls in there. And I was like, "Oh no, did they kill him off?" And I was like, "No way, no way." But I remember that the Koopas, the way some of the Koopas who are skeletons, they're still alive, and Bowser comes out as a skeleton Bowser, and he's ready to fight. And Bowser Jr. was so worried. He's like, "Dad, Dad." It's just so kid. It's so kiddish. It's so silliness. Like, there's what I love about this movie too. Before I continue, is just they find the right time and the right time through the whole movie, but they really double down on the silliness, the goofiness with them, like in a kid friendly way, right? And it just makes sense. But then it's like a tag team fight. It's Bowser and his son versus the brothers, while Princess Peach is trying to get her sister out, because we found out that Princess Peach and Rosalina are sisters, which is really cool because, when they did that scene where they go to Princess Rosalina's castle and Princess Peach reads that book, I thought, okay, it was really cool because for years, Nintendo never really clarifies who's related and who's not. They do for obviously Mario and Luigi, but it was always confusing, like who's Rosalina to Peach. And for years, if you watch the Game Theory YouTube channel, I believe it was him or maybe somebody on the internet made a theory that Rosalina was actually Princess Peach's mom. Like, Rosalina is the mom of Princess Peach. But in this one, they clarify as sisters, and they are made of stardust. So apparently they don't have parents, I guess. I don't know who's their mom and dad, but they're made out of stardust, which is the same. So, does these Luna stars evolve into humans like shapes? I don't know. But apparently Princess Peach and Rosalina, Princess Rosalina, I should say, were once Luna stars, basically, if they're made out of stardust. So that's how they're explaining it. I didn't make that decision. Nintendo did. And Illumination agreed with it. So that's the whole point. But the one thing, too, what I liked about it, we saw Mr. Game & Watch, because it's funny, Luigi took Bowser Jr.'s little brush, which is from the Mario Sunshine game, and he drew, and he's like, "I'm sorry, Mario, I can't draw." While Bowser's Jr. drew a freaking dragon that reminds me of the dragon from Super Smash Brothers and one of the dragons from Metroid Prime games. Not the pterodactyl one, but a dragon. So, they tried their best, and obviously Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi whooped their ass again, and Princess Peach saved her sister, Princess Daisy, and that Bowser planet became all grass and green, and it looked like one of the planets from the beginning of the game of Super Mario Galaxy. And so at the end, the heroes save the day. They rebuild the Princess Peach's castle with all the Luna stars. And then we get two post-credit scenes. So the first one was Bowser and Jr. are locked up in a prison cell. And this blue Luna star from the first one, who's always doing these dark, scary riddles. And you see Bowser Jr. trying to dig a hole. And then that blue Luna star is just being creepy and scary. I don't know, it's warped up mind. And then the last post credit scene, I should say, we get introduced to Daisy. That monkey tried to steal something, and Princess Daisy punched that monkey in the face. Like, I was like, ouch. But we don't know who's voice acting her. And so that's how that all ended. Now, was this a good movie? Yes, it was. Was the plot of the movie good? Yes. And the reason why is, guys, is I'm going to give this a movie a 10 out of a 10. That's my rating for this. This is a 10 out of 10. And the reason why is because the main plot of the story makes sense to me, because this is a story that reminds me of a Mario adventure story from the video games, because these are video game characters. And I just want to say that the difference between video game characters and like superhero characters from comic books like Marvel Comics, DC Comics, they have comic book lore, and Mario and any other Nintendo characters have video game lore. And when you make a superhero film, most studios are going to put logic in it, make it logical, make it realistic in today's world. Mario, and just Mario characters or any Nintendo characters, they don't have to make logical sense. They just have to make video game logic sense to it. So, I understand Rotten Tomato gave it a 44%, and I agree. You shouldn't use It's a Kids movie to be lazy on making the main plot story of the film. I agree with that, but to me it does make sense. Mario and any other characters from Mario's world, they are going to save a princess. This time it wasn't Princess Peach that needs saving. It was Princess Rosalina. And it was Bowser Jr. who captured Princess Rosalina. So again, they saved a princess. And before they even made to the ending of saving the princess, they had to go on a crazy adventure and deal with many challenges. They had, Bowser and Bowser Jr. were the main boss, the final boss. Shout out to The Rock. But but they had King Wart was not the final boss, but a mid-level boss. Mario and Luigi fought giant Goombas, the Hammer Bros, and many others, right? Those are mid-level bosses before you face the final boss, the final level. So this was video game logic, and it makes sense. This is the type of adventure that I would always imagine a Mario movie would be like. This is the type of adventures Mario would do. Of course, Mario would team up with Star Fox. That makes sense. Yeah, I wish people are upset that they kind of overglazed his origin story, but that doesn't mean they couldn't do an origin story movie and you just place it in the right timeline order. We don't know where they don't put like a year date or a year calendar. We don't know if it's the year 2026 or the year 3030. We don't know, right? Like, you kind of do and you kind of don't, but it's okay, because these are video game characters that live in not realistic worlds. The easy example is Spider-Man. Spider-Man lives in New York. Yes, New York is a real place. Yes, in the Mario movies, Mario and Luigi live in New York, but it's not New York the way the real life New York is. or even close to the way a Spider-Man movie, whether it's a live action or cartoon, they make it look like the real New York that exists right now, obviously. So that's why, to me, I disagree with the 44% score that Rotten Tomato has delivered. But I also understand why. Yes, there's some things I wish. I wish Rosalina had more screen time where I can hear Brie Larson voice act as her. Yes, I wish they had Wario and Waluigi. That would make more sense to introduce first before Star Fox. But realistically, does it really matter who gets introduced first? Not really. Because there is an origin story, but you're basing off old video games that most kids don't really play. They really did honestly a good job of catering to an older generation of Nintendo fans and catering to the current new younger generation of Nintendo fans or just Mario fans in general. And that's the point. This visually looked great. Chris Pratt did a great job as Mario. Anna Taylor, amazing job as Princess Peach. And we gotta remember, these characters, especially Mario, he never really talk. Yes, he has his iconic Catchphrasing and doing a dialogue of talking are two different things. So to me, doesn't mean super logical, but I think it honored and nodded and catered to every fan base of a Nintendo fan. And that's why this movie is a 10 out of 10. This is the best, to me, one of the best Mario movies made. Is it better than the Sonic the Hedgehog movies? No. I think the Sonic the Hedgehog movies are better, but different company, different movie studio, different storylines. But they're video game characters, of course. But to me, this was such a good thing. And the voice actors who played each Nintendo character, again, they did an amazing job. And yeah, I wish they had more screen time for certain ones, like I said, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. And they're teasing like a Super Smash Brothers type stuff. So, and there's time. There's time for all that. And yeah, I wish they had Seth Rogen, aka Donkey Kong, in here, but that's okay. Because this story didn't need Donkey Kong. It needed Star Fox because they're in outer space. That makes sense too. So, I honestly think this was, again, a 10 out of 10 film. But I love the story to it. I love it was fast paced. And it felt, the most important thing to me that makes this great film, it felt like a Mario video game. It just felt like it. It felt like I just needed my Nintendo Switch game controller. And I just needed to hit the buttons. Button smash, basically. I felt like when they did certain scenes that resembles old Mario game levels from different Mario games, I felt like, oh man, I know I fell off this cliff before. Oh, I lost in this level before. Just remind me of that. And that's really cool about it. So they did a really awesome job. And I liked how they portrayed Rosalina. Because honestly, they changed her up a little bit. They gave her the big sister / mother feel. But they also made her tough. And same with Peach, because Princess Peach was always getting captured, but now later on in years they made Princess Peach and Princess Rosalina some baddies, women who can fight, who don't need a man. And that's fine. Princesses don't need to be weak. They can be strong and independent, and that's what they delivered. And when they showed Princess Daisy punching that poor monkey, obviously she's independent. And no, they didn't finish up. Does Mario and Peach finally tell each other how they truly feel? No, there's time for that. But they gave you everything they could, and there's so much Mario games that they haven't even touched upon yet in this film. Like, imagine they did the next one based off the Mario RPG game. They could. Or a Mario Sunshine. Like, they kind of teased it. There's so many they can do. So, honestly, what they did was the right decision. It was the right story to tell. And they also set up, like, potential spin-offs. Like, because they showed one of the characters, which I believe is Kamek, had a coffee mug that had Professor Egag's symbol on there, and they could tease that because normally in the starting in the Mario Sunshine game and Luigi Mansion games, and then continuing on, Professor Egag has been making items for the good guys and the bad guys. So they're probably gonna change up his personality as not like change it up, but more of just a hustler. Whatever he can get the cash, he don't care if they're gonna do evil deeds or good deeds. Like, he's a mad scientist that just loves the money, and he loves to create things. Even though they could destroy a whole universe, but he's gonna create that. So I can see that happening. But he can do a Luigi's Mansion. Luigi's kind of scared in this. Now they got Yoshi, and if somebody like Danny Glover wants to continue being Yoshi, which I would imagine, they can do a spin-off with Yoshi and do like Yoshi Island or a Yoshi Story type base. And then, just whatever it is. And then obviously, like, Princess Peach, Princess Daisy, Princess Rosalina can have spin-offs. Like, there's so much potential. Like, they can go so far, and obviously they can do a Star Fox movie. So they set it up in a really good way to get you excited, because this is going to be beyond just a Mario stuff. Like, most people want to see Mario interact with other Nintendo characters, so they're kind of just getting to the point of it, but which is fine. But you can always tell a Mario story, right? Like, you can always tell it, but they got some ideas, and I'm really excited for it. And I would expect these Nintendo characters to have a story like this. It makes sense to me. So, again, I loved it, and I hope everyone else enjoy it. But that is my spoiler review, y'all. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment. Subscribe, hit that notification button so you guys are updated with all my latest content. Thank you guys, and peace out.